Very pleased to be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only, the legendary, the incomparable, the internationally famous. You know him, you love him. It is Grant Hill. Grant, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. And thanks for the nice introduction.
Well, I mean, you've done a lot of things to earn it. You know what I mean? So, it feels fair to say. I have a lot to get to, Grant, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive in. First of all, I am an ASU Sun Devil, and Bobby Hurley, thoughts right now? It's a big season coming up. I know we got a little bit of time to go, but he's your guy. I anticipate you have some positive things to say.
Yeah, no, I think the world of Bobby. Bobby, man, we shared some amazing moments and just made history together, and those bonds and friendships and experiences were incredible. I know it's been, I know he had some really good years, I guess going back to 2017, 18, and had, the guards there and the way they
Hmm.
played, and I guess, had an injury last year, and to the young fella. And so it's just a weird environment now in intercollegiate athletics, particularly college basketball. It's more of a revolving door. But Bobby comes from great stock. He's got a great basketball mind. He's obviously passionate. And so, I'm hopeful and optimistic that things will be good this upcoming season for the Sun Devils.
I'm with you. So I am an ASU Sun Devil, but starting this fall, I'll be attending grad school online with the University of Florida. And as I understand, you and I will both be spending money at that institution pretty soon. So we have that in common. But that being said, the Florida Gators looking to go back to back for the first time in not that long of a time. Obviously, Danny Hurley's UConn team. You obviously know about that. Do you think Florida? I spoke to both Ian Eagle and Tracy Wolfson, and actually Clark Kellogg. It was a big old CBS team event prior to March Madness starting, and asked everybody about Florida, and everybody kind of, it was a pretty chalk thing, I think, to pick the Gators to win it all. But we're only in June. How do you anticipate the Gators having a chance to run it back for the second time in school history?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird because there's still some uncertainty as the full roster. Obviously you do have guys who are part of that team who are
Right.
returning. They've brought in some really talented. You have all their bigs, I believe, who are returning from last year. So that's a huge advantage. And I thought their bigs were pretty dominant during the regular season and in the postseason up until the Final Four. You lose Clayton, who was just absolutely dynamic, but you bring in some transfers. So on paper, I mean, they look like they have a real a real chance and a real opportunity to get back there. And I think because you have players who've gone through it all, and from the start of the season to all of a sudden last year, managing expectations. Everyone thought, okay, by the end of the season, Florida is the best team,
Right.
and then finding ways to win. It wasn't all blowouts. It's getting stops, winning ugly, making big plays on the offensive end to close out games. You saw it there against Houston in the championship game. I think that sort of institutional knowledge that's been gained will only help them as they embark on it. But look, it's harder in a weird kind of way. It's harder to go back with that, particularly
Right.
because now you have that X on your back and everyone's gunning for you and the expectations. And so, Todd Golden's done a fantastic job. He's a competitor. He understands the psychology of it all. He'll have them ready. So if you were betting on Florida, not that I'm into betting or anything like that,
Sure.
it's a safe bet.
No, I agree with everything you said. Obviously, Florida took out UConn, right? That X on the Huskies' back. I mean, you've got to be perfect because if you're not, somebody's going to take advantage. You talked about winning ugly. We all do that on the golf course, and I have a lot to get to relative to your golf game. But I was looking through your Instagram, and do you recall who you said was one of your favorite golfers when you posted a picture of you with him after the Arnold Palmer in 2020?
Oh man, I can't remember.
It's okay. I mean, it was your
Was it
Instagram
Rick?
post.
Was it Ricky Fowler?
So I'll give you
Was it?
partial credit for that, Grant, because it was a photo of you and Ricky. But the caption says, "I also enjoyed meeting one of my fave golfers," and it was Tony Finau.
Tony. Tony.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
what's the reason that Tony Finau is one of your favorite guys?
Well, he was one of my favorites until I met him, and what I mean by that was I thought he was so tall,
Sure.
and so as a guy who was a tall golfer,
Hmm.
I thought, okay, he's somebody who's tall. He's got a little bit of a half, three-quarter swing. But then I met him, and he wasn't as tall as I thought. So, but a super nice guy, and all those guys, man, you just have the ultimate respect for their gift, their talent, and what goes into being on the PGA and being a professional golfer at the highest level. So, but yeah, I remember that was when I first started golfing too.
Hmm.
So I've come a long way since then.
Well, this I would notice the date on this post, and it obviously triggered my memory as it would anybody. So you posted this on March 6, 2020, and this was the Arnold Palmer. This was the final event before the Players that year, which was obviously canceled due to the pandemic beginning and life changing for all of us. I have to imagine that week, the night the NBA got suspended, we all kind of remember that seminal moment. You had to be running through your mind like, dude, I was just at Bay Hill with these guys. Like that had to be a wild sequence for you.
Yeah, it was a wild time, and give all of us credit for just sort of getting through. I mean, it's hard to
Sure.
believe. It seems like that was a while ago, but it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I mean, I played at Bay Hill. For someone who had just started playing maybe a year or two earlier, and now I'm playing with Ricky Fowler and I'm meeting some of these great players. It was overwhelming. And then, I that weekend before everything came to a halt, I went to the Duke Carolina game, last game of the regular
Right.
season in Cameron.
You're right.
And I'm sure COVID was in Cameron that night. That was a Saturday night. I flew to Houston all night, and then I did the Houston Memphis game with Jim Nance and Bill Raftery. By the way, Jim was the one that got me into golf.
Of course.
I have him to thank and to blame, depending on how things are going. And so we did that game, and then I was at home getting ready to head to Chicago. I think it was Chicago, but we had the Big Ten Conference tournament.
Hmm.
And that's when everything, I think I was scheduled to fly out the next day
Right.
when the NBA canceled everything and then everyone else jumped in. And, that's when we kind of realized COVID was real. But yeah, like that was a fun, exciting, kind of hectic time with, the golf and then
Right.
bet calling games and then getting ready for March Madness, and everything came to an end.
Well, to pivot more to golf specifically, you mentioned Jim Nance got you into it, a pretty solid stick himself. Everybody obviously knows about his days in college and Fed couples and all that stuff. But how's your game 5 years later? Because it's going to be on display for all of us pretty soon in about a month's time.
Yeah, no, it's better. It's better. I mean, I finally feel comfortable that I can get out and play and play on that kind of stage. I did it. There was another one in Orlando in 2020. I did
Sure.
it in 20, and it's called, I think it was the Diamond Resorts or
Right,
something.
with the
And
LPGA. Right.
yeah, and I did that, and I had no business being out there. And I actually played better than my game, which is not saying much back then, but the idea of being around people like that actually wasn't like that wasn't something that made me uncomfortable. And if anything, that
Of
was something I
course.
was accustomed to,
Sure.
because of playing on the court. I mean, obviously I wasn't as good, but I've played a bunch. I've learned the game. I've grown. Like I'm a better player, I think. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. We need more basketball players. Steph Curry, obviously, Barkley. Those are some big names. I played a lot with Austin Reeves in 2023 when he was on the World Cup team, and managing director of USA Basketball. Played a lot with Steph last summer as we were going on our way to Paris. So yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I'm going in to win it, but I'm going in to compete and have fun and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, the Steph element and the Olympic element is, because I've written about obviously him returning to the event. People say, why wasn't he in it last year? It's like, well, guy was kind of busy. The Olympics were going on, um, and that's a good reason. It's a good reason to miss a week of golf in Lake Tahoe. But I've loved this event. So many people do because it puts you together with not just basketball players, but obviously. I know you want to see more of them, but hockey players and entertainers and actors and actresses, and that's something that you're obviously not foreign to either, like playing in front of crowds. But this is your first time, I believe, right, in the American Century?
Yeah, no, my first time at the American Century Championship, have watched it for years, probably watched it with more interest, since I started playing.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, look, I mean, to be able to play, to be able to, 3 days, compete, walk the course, all of that, like the challenge of that is exciting. But the fellowship and the opportunity to spend time with these incredible athletes, incredible people, entertainers, is something that's equally exciting for me. And so yeah, no, I'm looking for. That's one of the beauties of the game of golf is that I think not only do you get to play some of the incredible courses all over the world, but you get a chance to know people. It connects people. It brings people together. You learn a lot about somebody, playing golf with them or competing with them. And so I look forward to it all, and bringing my wife out, my family. We're gonna enjoy the week and enjoy Lake Tahoe, and hopefully not embarrass the family.
I mean, I think you'll be okay. Like, there's always someone out there who's going to be worse off. That's generally a good rule of thumb. If you can't find that person, that's when you're a little bit up a creek. You know what I'm saying? But I think you have enough athletic prowess that you'll be able to survive. Relative to your golf game over the last 5 years, you've talked about playing different courses and things like that. What because when the game bites you, it bites hard. And so, what's a memory? Maybe it's been a guy's trip or a family trip with the family that you've gone on, and you've just been like, I can't believe I never visited this place and played a round of golf here before.
Well, I mean, I live in a nice golf community,
Sure.
community Isleworth down in Orlando, and Mark O'Mara, Tiger Woods, like we had a lot of golfers live there, and we lived on the golf course for I don't know 10 years, before I started playing golf.
Hmm.
And it was crazy to me because once I started playing, like I saw the neighborhood from the golf course, and it was more stunning than than just seeing the neighborhood, as
Right.
you're driving down the street. And I remember I'm like, wow, like I didn't know, like I've been here since 2004, and well, on the golf course 2007, and then like 2018 I'm on the golf course playing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is stunning.
This rules. Yeah.
and
This
to
is
the point where
awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm taking my wife, like, come out with me while I'm playing. She's like, I don't want to watch you play. And I'm like, no, it's not to watch me play, it's to see the neighborhood.
Hmm.
And so I just think that you know there's nothing like a beautiful golf course, and it's just you're outdoors, um the views, the scenery. I mean, it's just every hole. And I've had a chance to play some great courses, and I'm just, whether you're walking or you're in a golf cart, being outdoors, the scenery, like all of it, like the thought, everything that goes into the hole and building out the course, it's on display. And so it's like, wow, as much like I I missed out on this until I was like 46, 47 years old. And so I enjoy just the beauty of a golf course and being able to, experience it from that perspective.
That's really well said. This is my last one, and I don't know if you knew this, but Grant, I also cover the Dallas Cowboys. It's kind of my main thing. And
Okay.
so obviously your connection, to put it lightly, to the Cowboys is well known and is well documented. Do you follow the team these days anymore? I mean, do you? I hate to be so blunt as to say, do you care? But I mean, I'm sure you see things. The Cowboys are everywhere. What's your relationship like as a quote unquote Cowboys fan these days?
Well, my dad played for the Cowboys, as you said, and I was, my mom and dad were expecting um, a girl, and I was born a boy,
Hmm.
and so I was nameless for 3 days until Roger Staubach named me. And so I think I was destined to be a Cowboys fan because Roger Staubach named me. And so anyway, but no, fast forward, my dad worked for the Cowboys from the mid 90s until COVID. So through him, had access, would go to games. Recently, my daughter lives in Dallas, my oldest daughter, and I think I was in town to visit her and my dad. I guess I went to the Doak Walker Awards with my
Okay.
father. This was maybe back in February, and we went by the Star just to kind of see some of my dad's old friends. And it was like, I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 days after Brian Schottenheimer got the job.
Interesting.
And so we're in there talking to Brian, and my dad played for his dad in Cleveland.
Of course.
And
Wow.
Brian told me, I didn't realize this, but we actually used to play together when we were kids back in the early 80s, playing football. you know, all the kids would be out there playing football in the old Cleveland Stadium on a Saturday before the game on Sunday. And so we were reminiscing about our times in Cleveland. And so anyway, but no, I mean I've through the years been a fan, and we've had some tough times, and it's been at times difficult. I was at the last playoff win. I think it was in January of 2020. I think we beat Seattle.
That was
Um,
ironically to make it even more full circle for you, Grant. That was January of 19. That was the 18th season, and it was against the
19. You're right. Yes.
and it was against the Seattle Seahawks, whose offensive coordinator was, of course, Brian Schottenheimer. Because again, everything goes full circle in this world.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, yeah, I mean I'm not a huge football fan because growing up around it, my dad wouldn't let me play till I was in high school. So I kind of, I fell in love with basketball, but through the years, I've definitely caught up, and I am a Cowboys fan. I'm proud to say that.
You and me both, which is hard for some people. But also to finish our conversation in a full circle way, Brian Schottenheimer, a proud Florida Gator. So there you go. He's also rooting for a back-to-back series there down in
Th-
Gainesville.
There you go. Yeah, all
Uh,
right. Go Gators.
Grant, thank you
And
so
for
much for
those
the.
who don't know, my daughter's going there to play soccer. So
Yeah, I didn't want to,
no, you can, I don't want people to think, I'm a Blue Devil.
right.
But I will be the parent of a Gator. So,
What's
and I
that
live
like?
about
Let's say she's got some friends on the team, you sporting Gator gear, I mean, obviously you're working, you know what I mean, during March Madness and whatnot, but she's like, hey dad, I got you one of those like Florida dad shirts, you know what I mean? You wearing this with a Gator logo on
I will wear a Florida women's soccer
it?
shirt. Yes. Yes, I will do
That's
that.
that's the right way to handle it. Grant Hill, all the best and everything. Best of luck in Lake Tahoe. We'll be watching you July 9th through July 13th on Golf Channel and Peacock. Hit them straight and soak it up. Just look at all the scenery and take it in with the wife and family. Hope you guys have an incredible time.